Can you dig it? Hello. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jake Johnson, and you viewers, coming from the internet, right into my brain and right out of my mouth and right back into your brain. It's a reciprocal entendre. Is Untethered live on Friday night? That's what we're doing here, and I'm enjoying this partial stogie. And we're going to talk about some stuff and do some things and interview some people and review some thoughts. We're going to talk about the world and the state of it. We're going to talk about reality and the caving in of it. We're going to talk about the existence of comedy and the lack thereof. We're going to talk about the new Santa Inc. trailer. It's going to be something. How are you? How are things going in your part of the world? Are you getting into any trouble? Is it snowing yet? It's pretty cold here. Not snowing cold, but it's cold. It's cold enough. I mean, it's respectable. I hope you're bundled in and having a good time where you are. I hope that you have hope for the coming Christmas season and the movies that are going to be released and the things that are going to happen in the world this month. As we know, it is the season. We got over Thanksgiving. We made it. Now we're headed straight for Christmas. And that is the spirit of giving, the spirit of love, the spirit of joy. And above all, it's the celebration of Christ, our Lord and Savior, and his existence in our world. It's a wonderful thing to celebrate. Hope everybody gets that. This thing that we're going to talk about later on in the show is the opposite of that. And I would like to point it out because it's necessary. Because for some reason, the people that run this world seem to think that the majority of the people in this world don't want to be Christians. That's not true. I think conservatively it's about 70%. 70%. That's a lot of people in the 300 million people that we have living in this country alone, not including all the guests, our southern guests. Have no idea how many of those that are here, but the ones that we know about, the ones that signed the census, 300 million people, 70% of that are Christian in nature, or at least agnostic, at least leaning in that direction. That only leaves like 30% of people who don't have some sort of higher power in their life. Why is it that that small minority of people are touting the most noise? Hey, 9 dimes. No snow? Darn. I was hoping you'd have a good one. Good evening, sir. How are you? Or ma'am? You've never told me, so I don't know, and I'm not presuming dimes are neutral. Either way, I hope you're having a good night, and I hope you enjoy what I got in store for you this evening. We're going to have a little fun. Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman have put out a HBO Max television show. Hey, Caucasian. And we're going to go over the trailer for it and discuss. I'm walking out of a play. I'll be along in a bit. Okay. Who was playing? Is that your daughter's kind of thing? Because my son was just in a play last week. It's interesting. A little bit of simpatico going on here. A little copacetic camaraderie. And yes, 9 dimes, I am having a good evening. I hope you are too. And thanks for coming back. I'm glad to see it was not you who unsubscribed from my channel. I had an unsubscription this week. Not sure who, but I'll find out. And I'm coming for you. I've been considering doing a Patreon. Been a lot of ups and downs in that company. I don't know if I trust them or not, but I've been thinking about it. I need to do something. There's another one called Subscribe Star. I may end up going with that one. I don't know yet, but any advice from the peanut gallery would be much welcomed. Peanut gallery. Is that a derogatory term? I didn't mean it as such. The people watching. How about that? Any viewer advice? I'll take it. Because I don't know which way to go. And I don't really care, but it needs to happen at some point. I have a new goal. My new goal is 300 subscribers, and I'll tell you why. That specific goal is because I need that many subscribers to switch over to Odyssey, which is a YouTube replacement, and that's what I'm shooting to do just as quickly as I can. So, I would appreciate all the help I could get. Anybody want to send this out to somebody? Share, like, subscribe, do all the buttons of that nature in general. Press them. That's how buttons are treated. And get the word out. Tell your buddies, tell your neighbors, tell your friends. Hey, I know a crazy guy that reads the Bible and stuff. Sometimes he smokes a lot of cigars. You can't miss it. It's must-see TV. You can't miss a single episode. Your very soul depends on it, maybe. Well, what's it about? Something. Can you be more specific? Why, no, I can't. It's a show about something. Probably. Well, you don't seem very excited about it. No, it's exciting, really. It's a good show. It's riveting from start to finish. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time. Well, what's it about? Stuff. I think I need to work on my pitch a little. I'm getting there. Oh, 9 dimes. I think that question was directed at you. Do you do content? Do you have a channel? Is what he's asking. Patreon is the best. You support several channels through them. Well, so far I've been using PayPal alone and just depending on, donations, generosity. Anybody wants to do that, that's fine. But I've been thinking about, for certain people, and it ain't for everybody, a specific thing that will open up more content that will help me actually fund this thing into the next realm, because I'm starting to get ready to step up a notch. But in order to do that, I need the viewership. In order to have the viewership, I need to lock down some advertising and stuff like that. So it's a plan. I'm formulating it. So if you know anything about it, I would take whatever you know and consider it greatly. So I'd appreciate that. Open a dialogue and tell me what you know about it. And you say I can trust it because it's the best. The one thing I am concerned about it is I happen to know a guy who was on Patreon and had quite a lot of subscribers. I mean, he was making them big money, and they just erased his channel. That was in the height of all that a year or so ago when they were shadow banning everybody so bad and canceling everybody during the Me Too movement and all that. They just gutted him. They banned his access to PayPal. They banned his access to Patreon. They kicked him off YouTube. It was rough. And the guy, it hurt him bad because he was making a lot of money on YouTube and Patreon and stuff. I don't want that to, potentially happen to me. So, although I am knowingly walking that line because there are things that need to be said. And you can't just ban people for saying them. Can't do it. Because if you do, then there's only one dissenting opinion. And that's not good. You literally cannot have opinions if there's only one of them. So I know I'm walking a dangerous tightrope, but I'm trying to find where that line is and stop just short of it. so that I don't actually get banned. But I can, get some of the information out that needs to be got out. You bought a year subscription of StreamYard. Excellent. That's cool. So you can do more than 20 hours a month? And you can have 10 people instead of 6? I've considered doing that myself. There's actually like maybe 5 different services that I would like to have for my podcast, but those things cost money, and I've got to be making a net positive before I can go spending money, so I can't really go that route right now. Only thing I know about it is from a supporter's perspective. Well, that's the person that needs to be pleased, is the supporter. If you're happy with it, then that means that I know that my people will be happy with it. If it causes you any troubles, then I would like to prevent anybody that's going to pay to see me from having that trouble. It's easy for me to support channels I like with it. Excellent. And the Caucasian Sasquatch 9 Dime says, I do some content just on coins and cards. Well, he's interested in eclectic things, so that might be right up his alley. Especially if they're interesting. I'm going to open the door. I'll be right back. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. I've come to the conclusion, says Sasquatch, that I am a free speech advocate, but YouTube is not, so I have no issues blocking trolls. Sasquatch, do you know what cryptids are? Cryptids. There's 2 things that are called that. One of them is like Bigfoot and aliens and things like that. And the other one I can't remember. Which are you referring to? This is a nice Swisher Sweet. Cheap cigar, but it's good. So, anyway, I'm looking into it, and I'm also thinking about on that Patreon or Subscribestar or whatever it is I do, for the extra content, I'm going to start doing debunking videos, long form and in depth, and I can get away with a lot more on Patreon than I can on YouTube for sure, and uncensored and, that sort of thing. And also doing discovery videos where I delve into things like taking something apart and explaining how it works, or learning a new skill or something like that and filming it. We're getting into it. Anyway, I'm coming into that. I'm starting to see a pattern of what it is this show is going to be, which is why I've been taking it so slow, kind of letting it develop and figure out what people like and what they don't like, and what I'm good at and what I'm not good at, or what I'm interested in or not. And I've got the framework, the format of everything, how I want to do it. Now I'm just working on the content part. And as that starts ramping up and we reach 200 subscribers, which ain't too far off, I'm going to start picking up the pace a little bit and doing a little bit more quality stuff rather than just chit-chatting all the time. Which right now I've got 2 days of serious content, but it's a very polarizing, very specific oriented topic that you have to be into in order to appreciate. The other 2 days, I just hang out. But I'm going to start filling up that time and possibly adding a 5th day of in-depth quality content. But in order for me to do that, I've got to reach a net positive. Can't do it all for free. So that's the thought that's on my mind at the moment. Thought I'd share. Hey, Diego. What's happening, brother? Glad you could make it. I guess April and Kevin will be along shortly. They might be out partying, though. It's Friday. Friday night. They might be drunken in a ditch somewhere. That's where I'd be if I had a way to go. I have a way to go. I'm just chit-chatting. He seems more interactive than the past days. Who does? How are you doing this night, Diego? You getting into any trouble on a Friday night? I'm just sitting at the house chit-chatting with my buddies and smoking an old stogie. I started to make me a pot of coffee, but I ran out of time and decided I was much too lazy. Just drink Mountain Dew. I have the rest of the weekend off, with the exception of Sunday. I've got a rehearsal to go to from 3 to 6, and then podcast from 8 to 10. So that'll be a busy day. But other than that, I'm pretty much free. I've been watching this Beatles documentary called Get Back. It's on, the guy told me, I think it's HBO Max. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Anyway, it's the same channel that we're going to be talking about later this afternoon. And it's really, it's 3 episodes. Each episode is 3 hours long, and it's basically the Beatles band practice edition. They're basically just writing songs and rehearsing, getting ready for a show that may or may not take place. And so far, it's pretty good. I've enjoyed it. I got to see a side of the Beatles I didn't see before, because I'm not the biggest Beatles fan, although I am a musician and I do appreciate what they brought to the table, even though I don't care for it. It's not my thing. But this last album they did was actually pretty good. The one that's got Let It Be and Get Back and all that on it. Kind of into that album. It's all right. Still not my favorite kind of music, but it's up there with what I like. Anyway. And if you get a chance to watch that documentary or part of it, it is 9 hours long, so it may, you know, not appeal to everyone, but it is entertaining and it is informative. And it is directed by Peter Jackson, the guy that did the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So for whatever that's worth, it does have a good director. I am going to switch backgrounds because mine seems to be overloading. Bear with me for a moment, please. Let's try that for a little while. Who doesn't love a good campfire? Poacher. Hey, April, what's happening? Oh, Lord. It's on now. April's here. How are you, dear? How are you living up on a Friday night? Is it cold in Florida yet? Does it ever get cold in Florida? Hey, Kev, what's happening, my brother? Good to see you, my man. Glad you could stop by. Yeah, well, this is Switzerland, buddy. This is a neutral place. There'll be no grudges held here. Go Dogs. Besides, I don't think she's here tonight. I hadn't seen her yet anyway. April is driving. The weather is cool. It feels just right. So good. Florida. The place where you can cut the air with a butter knife. On a warm summer's eve. This is the southeast of America, baby. Football is king. King! I'm talking into my phone. I'm not texting and driving. So if I say the wrong things, or it looks weird, that's why. Well, you know that the reason texting and driving is a bad thing is not because you can't drive with only one hand, but because it splits or divides your attention. And when you're thinking, you can't see. So, talking or texting, you're still texting and driving. But you're also a girl, and girls can put on makeup and drive, so I'm just letting you know. Yeah, Kevin, you're in Florida. I'm pretty sure that's just south. I don't think it's east. I think the Carolinas is east. Florida is just down. I guess it is East Coast, but, it has a West Coast too, oddly enough. I think if you have an East Coast and a West Coast, then you're just south. That's my logic anyway, and I'm sticking to it. Hey, good point. I do have those occasionally. All right, boys and girls, y'all want to get into it? Y'all want to hear something truly and utterly disgusting? Check this out. I've recently been made aware of a new show that's come out on HBO Max. It's called Santa Inc. It's a children's show about the holiday season and the love we have for Christ. And it's about family and pulling everybody together. It's a love song, if you will, to Christmas itself. But before we get into it, we kind of need to do a sports update with Kevin Cobb. Georgia Bulldogs play the communist Alabama useless Tide tomorrow at 4. Be there or be European. Ooh, ooh, ooh. How about that? So, I want you to pay close attention to what's happening right now. Divert all attention to your screen and just feast your eyes on what the world has in store for us.
When you're a kid, there's only one day a year more special than any other day, and that day is Christmas.
Well, that's true. That day is Christmas. However, this show is not about that. right off the bat, you'll notice that the elf in question is Jewish. I'm pretty sure that's not a prerequisite for Santa Claus, but let's move on.
And we are the magic behind that day. So let's get these fucking kids some fucking presents!
There will be swearing in this review, so no kids allowed. And also, what the hell did I just look at?
May I present the hardest working man in snowbiz? Good golly, he's jolly. Our own Santa Claus!
Hey, Merry Christmas. Whoa.
That's a boob shot from an elf. Pay attention to your surroundings.
You're on my naughty list.
Good news, sir. More American kids believe in you than they do in vaccines or the Holocaust.
That's
Right off the bat, let's get into putting down Americans. You don't believe in the vaccine or the Holocaust? You're a white supremacist.
great. I mean, disheartening for America, but great for us.
So the message is America bad, left-wing ideology good. You think I'm joking? Wait and see.
I'm here from the North Pole Times. Have you decided who will succeed you as Santa Claus?
Sup,
I'm guessing a diversity hire.
tech, Santa's old and knocking on death's door? Fuck you. Good question. I'll give it some serious thought. Ha ha ho ho ho. Bye.
There have
The Jewish Yoda.
been many Santa Clauses throughout history. Some were loved, others loathed. But the position of Santa has mostly been a white man's game.
See? You thought I was bluffing, didn't you? It's white man bad Christmas Carol.
Exactly, it's fucking crazy. Things have gotta change.
Why? Why do they have to change? Is Santa Claus falling down on the job? Is he not delivering the toys on time? Or is it just the patriarchy that you want to destroy?
My advice to you is, if I die, get rid of my porn!
I concur. If I die, get rid of my porn. That's what I want my kids to see.
I want to be the next Santa. If this
She wants to be the next Santa.
Is your dream, you have to at least make your case, bitch.
You gotta get intimate with that jolly bitch.
I know you're right, but do you really have to call me bitch every time you say something?
Yes, it's empowering to call you bitch. Bitch.
Yes, bitch, because it's empowering to call you bitch.
Let's go over what we know. Santa and the board are all male and all white.
Bad man, bad. White man, bad. Bad, bad, bad. Look at that panel. There's a priest on the end, shaking his head in disgust.
They play golf, drink, smoke cigars, say things like, "Don't ever marry your mistress."
Yeah, because everybody wants to relate to beta males. You know, a guy who can't get laid and isn't good at anything, because that's what we want from our males in society. Better yet, let's just replace them with females, because, you know, down with the patriarchy.
So you know, the women of the North Pole make fun of one of your dicks. Have fun wondering whose it is.
I shudder at the implications of that thought. Does that mean that all the women of the North Pole have been with all of those guys? Or at the very least seen their dicks?
What I need to learn is how to bro out with these guys. You know, shoot the shit, do shots, shoot shots of shit.
You cannot. Number one, they just showed all the guys pissing in the snow and her behind them looking forlornly because she can't, you know, join in. Number one, you're not a guy. So you can't think like a guy or do guy things. You're a girl. Celebrate that. Be proud of that. What the hell is wrong with you? Men and women are different. Not unequal, but different. You do your things, they do their things. You cannot be the other thing. You are this thing. Take what you have and be proud of it. Don't be envious because someone else is different than you.
She has ideas, but can she really be the face of Christmas?
No, she can't. Number one, she's an elf. She's the face of the toy shop. Number two, she's an elf. Number three, she's a she-elf. Number four, she's not fat and jolly. Number five, she's an elf. Have you not read anything about Christmas ever? That is the second boob shot in this 30-second trailer, or however long it is, 2 minutes. And there's a guy pissing out the window just for kicks.
I'll be named successor, die trying.
And there you have it, sports fans. That is what the radical left wants Christmas to turn into. Are you happy? Do you feel loved? Do you feel joy coming from your television screen right now? Might I suggest an alternative, ladies and gentlemen? Wholesome and pure, real and Christmas-oriented. Don't watch that garbage. Watch something for real. Catherine Anthony, hello, you're new. Vask Tech, I don't know what that means, but thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support something wholesome and something that the family can gather around and watch on Christmas, follow the tradition and watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's much better film. It's much better stop-motion animation. It's much better messaging. And furthermore, it leaves absolutely nobody feeling like the rest of the world hates them. See how easy that is? And if you think that I'm alone in this, well, you need to get a Chrome extension, because in the infinite wisdom of Wajiki, the lady that runs YouTube, which is why you shouldn't let ladies run things of big natures like that, because they get all emotionally and feely and take away the like button so that you can't express your displeasure. But if you have a Chrome extension, which is only going to last for a couple of more weeks, you can add that on and go to YouTube and look at the likes and dislikes. And they are big time ratioed on Santa Inc. Nobody wants this. Nobody has asked for this. Nobody is interested in this. Everyone hates it. But they are not going to show you that. They're going to keep pushing it down your throat and making you feel like you've done something wrong for being someone you can't control being. You didn't ask to be born. You didn't ask for what you are, your attributes. You just did the best with what you had. And that is identity politics in a nutshell. I hope you enjoy it, because there's more of it coming in the future. Anyway, that is my review of Santa Inc., the television show. I hope you enjoyed it. Thoughts? He said, I'll be ashamed of their self. Yep. Stupid predictive text. Context. They should all be ashamed of themselves. I am white, fat, and jolly. Can I be Santa? Yes, you can. Because that is one of the prerequisites. You also need to be generous. If you're generous, then you can definitely apply for the job. This would have you believe that Santa needs to be replaced by a woman of color. Am I anti-woman? No, absolutely not. That's one of my favorite things in the world are women. It is my favorite thing in the world, women. They're beautiful, they're intelligent, they're strong, they're powerful. They are the essence of life. They teach us, they nurture us. Every human being that has ever lived has passed between the legs of a woman into this world. Without them, we don't exist. That being said, they should not run companies. It's not what they're made for. April says, yes, I agree, and I'm not for it. It's stupid. Caucasian says, hey, Catherine. Say something, Catherine. Introduce yourself. Let us know who you are. God be the judge. Amen. Amen. Kevin says, CJ. I say, don't let him watch this show. Woo, thanks, Jake. Well, you're welcome, sweetheart. Listen, I celebrate womanhood. I am a real, quote-unquote, feminist. I believe that a woman should have every right I have, should be paid the exact same dollar amount for the quality of work that I do. If you're not qualified, then you shouldn't make that kind of money. If you can't do it or hang in it or make your job priority number one, then you shouldn't make the same money. If you don't put your life on the line, if you don't go out there and bring home the bacon, no, you shouldn't get paid the same thing. I feel that same way about men, though. There is no weaker sex. There is only harmonious sex or kinky sex. You can't have both. You can have one or the other. Kinky means perverted, twisted, unnatural, going against the way it was designed to be done. That is what all this other stuff in the world is. All these other colorful types of rainbowy people, the alphabet group. That's what that is. That's a perversion of reality. If you want actual reality, then you need to follow the rules, and the rules are simple. There's harmony to be achieved. If a man does his job and a woman does her job, both of their jobs together make a full, cohesive, performing family. Well-oiled machine. If you change any of those elements, you screw the whole thing up and you live in dismay. Happiness will not come easily to you. Comfort will not come easily to you. Acceptance will not come easily to you. Ask anybody who is of the opposite persuasion, and they will tell you in not so many words. In fact, they've made a career out of being victims. Victims of what? Victims of perverting the natural order of things. That's what you're a victim of. You want to change it? Stop doing the crazy shit and go back to doing normal things. And then you will see all those problems disappear. I am mixing bourbon and gambling at the casino tonight. I will report back later on the results. Hey, Kevin, how about send me your PayPal information so I can send you some money and you can do some gambling for me? Because I need some money. And you seem to be pretty good at it. All right. I think Catherine might have been a pop in and pop out kind of gal. I don't know for sure. She hadn't said anything. Anyway, I hope you can see the wisdom in what I'm trying to express here. Newcomers and oldcomers alike. But here's the main thing. This country, at its present moment, is on the razor edge of falling apart. We are right there at the cusp of becoming Rome and being an afterthought in history and having some other group of people come in and take over. Does that mean I'm a nationalist? Yes, I'm absolutely a nationalist. I think this country ought to defend itself and stand up for what it is. And what it is free. And it's the best country in the world, but not for long. How do you fix that? Well, here's the first thing you do. Make babies. Find yourself a husband or a wife and make a family. Don't worry about being financially ready. Nobody's ever financially ready for babies. It doesn't come with instructions. You just have to go do it. Go do it and then live with the consequences. And the consequences are more like-minded people. More people is always a good thing. We have been severely hijacked in this country. We have been severely lied to. We have been severely outdone. And it's because we are doing what was expected of us, and that is to keep the peace and ignore the drama, keep your head down, keep moving forward, trying to do pleasant things with our lives. And in doing so, we've allowed them to just take over. It's time to stop that now. It's time to stand up and fix it before it's too late. Because if you don't, it will be too late. And when it's too late, you can't fix it anymore. Then it's too late. So now is the time, literally, quite literally. Am I talking about violence? I hope not. I wouldn't suggest it unless it was necessary. But I am talking about taking a stand, being firm on who you are and not allowing anybody to tell you how to speak or what to put in your body or how to live. You are free. That is an inalienable right given to you by our Creator. Your belief in Him has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's there, whether you believe in it or not. And inalienable means you can't change it. This is my freedom, and you can't change it. It isn't given to you by a government, so it cannot be taken from you by a government. Inalienable means it's yours forever, for free, no strings attached. Now it's time you start exercising it, because if you allow it, they will take it from you. And then you can't take it back. As long as you have it, you can keep it. But the minute it's gone, it's like a magic act. It disappears. Poof. So now, if someone threatens to poke you in the arm with something, say no. If someone tells you you can't say that or you have to say this, say no. If someone tells you you can't be here, you have to be over there, say no. And stand your ground. Don't be impolite. Don't be hateful, but be firm. I will not be moved. Period. That's how you solve the problem. If you got kids in school, take them out. Get them out of that hellhole. That is a place, and I am a man who believes in education. By all means, start another school and put them in it. But get them out of this public government-funded school, because it is a brainwashing factory. It is designed to take your children away from you. I promise you I'm right. Stop them from taking your children away from you, because it's happening and you don't even realize it's happening. And it is happening to you. It ain't just happening to me. It's happening to you too. It may not be as far along, or it may be in a different direction, but I assure you, they are not telling them anything at school that is beneficial to your family, beneficial to your cohesiveness as a family. Take your family and the control of it back, because if you don't, it will be too late. And how do they do that? How do they get into your kids so quick where you don't even see it happening? With movies like the one we just reviewed, and songs, and social norms, and fads. They sneak in and get in the heads of your children, and before you know it, they turn against you, and you don't even know why. How did that happen? At what point did it go off the rails? At what point did I lose control? I don't even know. It hit me like a hurricane. That's what you'll be thinking. And you'll be right, because you didn't see it happen. It's not because you're a bad parent. It's because they've developed sneakier ways of doing it. In Australia, they have camps where they send people. It's called a voluntary camp. 3 people just got arrested for escaping a voluntary camp in Australia this week. Am I going to play tonight and sing? Honey, I don't have a voice. So, probably not. There's a reason I haven't been doing that. And it's not because I don't want to. I've been having a health issue with my voice. And it's pretty severe. And I may not ever be able to sing again. I thought you knew this. Haven't we talked about this before? Hello. So, anyway, why have I brought this whole thing up? 2 reasons. Number 1, people seem to like it when I respond to things that are against the natural order of things. And 2, because I'm alarmed by it. Because I see this thing happening and nobody's really talking about it. Or a few people are. There are a few people. If you know where to look, like Friday Night Tights, shout out to Gary and my boys over there, Geeks and Gamers. Shout out. Adam Krigler, shout out. Those guys are talking about it. Most everybody else is not. And somebody needs to be talking about it because it's a bad thing. That preview that we just watched is proof positive that the subversion of the very nature of Christmas is happening. And before you know it, that is going to be the norm, and Christmas will be the afterthought. That's what they're trying to do. How do I know that? Because I've seen them do it with other things. This is a pattern. It's a pattern that you can recognize if you watch for it. If you're just going through life, paying attention to life and not paying attention to the world around you, you might miss it because it's subtle, but there's a pattern. If you spend time paying attention to the things that are being brought into your home, like news and television and the things people watch, movies. I'm a movie buff, so that's how I picked up on it. You can see it happening. And if you go back to about 2008, you can see where it started. And it's progressively gotten worse since. It's like they're pushing the gas and they're getting faster and faster and faster with it. Pretty soon, that's all that's going to be out there. Now, I have a drinking game for you. One that will not get you drunk. Go to Netflix, and every time you see a movie that has a positive ending, drink. I guarantee you, you'll never taste alcohol. Because every single thing in their programming lineup has a negative or dystopic message. Why is that important? Have you ever heard the expression Netflix and chill? That's the new have a cup of coffee. Or the new you want to go out. Netflix and chill is the vernacular that we use nowadays, the young people, to go on a date. Netflix and chill. Because it's part of the zeitgeist, the cultural anathema. It's part of society. Netflix. The place where you only get movies about suicide and broken loves and bad things, dystopia. How long is it going to be before everything is like that? Ask the people who came in on radio back in the 40s. It started then, too. They had a campaign in the 40s and 50s where the communists were on in Hollywood. And they even went through trials over it and arrested quite a few people because of it. But they were pressing a agenda then, and it was the communist agenda, not unlike what they're doing now. It's a repeat. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Hey, Cheese Bear, good to see you. You'll have to go back and watch. We did something pretty interesting a minute ago where we reacted to the review or preview of the show Santa Inc., which is very bad. I'll play it again before we leave just so everybody can pick up on it, but I won't stop it this time. I'll just let it play. But if you want to catch the reaction, go back and check it out. It's pretty cool. Anyway, we're talking about dystopia and the way America is headed right now. You've got Alec Baldwin on TV claiming to have absolutely no responsibility for shooting a woman in the head on set where his gun went off. If anybody owns a gun, then they all know they don't just go off. Somebody pulled the trigger. This is a single action revolver. It will not just go off, not even if you drop it. It didn't just go off. You have to pull the hammer back and then pull the trigger. Pow! That's the only way it fires. Also, this was a movie set. There should have not been a live round within 20 miles of that movie set. How it got in that gun is amazing. And obviously, the producer, Alec Baldwin, whose money is paying for this film, had absolutely no responsibility for it happening. Never mind the fact that he hired a young armor with very little experience. Never mind the fact that he was goofing off and they were target practicing on set. Never mind that they didn't follow protocols which were put in place ever since Brandon Lee killed himself with a blank. And ever since then, they have protocols on movie sets where you have to check the gun before it's handed to someone, and then they have to check it before they accept it to make sure that it's not carrying something that could potentially hurt someone. Most of the guns, by the way, are prop guns, which means they don't have holes in the barrel. They're solid barrels. They cannot fire. And they add after effects to make the recoil and the muzzle flash. The older prop guns would use caps or blanks, and they did fire, but they didn't have projectiles, and there was a cotton wad in the bullet itself so that when it fired, it made a smoke, but that's it. Nonetheless, this should have never happened, and it did. And now he's being investigated, Alec Baldwin, the actor, and they're going to probably let him get away with it scot-free. Take that reaction, how everyone on the news media is rallying behind him to say he's innocent and that this should not be put on his head, and compare that to the Kyle Rittenhouse case, which happened a month prior, and see how they reacted to that guy. I'm just saying, it's night and day. Congratulations on 400 subs, Sasquatch. Networking pays off. I don't care who paid. Baldwin was in possession, period. Amen. I agree with you, Sasquatch. What I meant by that statement was he is the guy in charge. He not only is the actor, the lead actor, but he's also the producer, and I think has something to do with the directing of it, even though there is a director on set. But in other words, he's in charge. He's the guy that's supposed to make sure all this stuff happens properly. And he's the guy who made the blunder. So it is his fault, however you want to look at it. April says, I'm great, can't stop laughing. Caucasian says, thanks, Cheesy, I'm pumped. How are you doing, love? Says April to Cheesy. Glad to hear. Unrestricted Sasquatch. Hey, that's getting awful close to my thing. Is a good thing. But yes, it is a good thing. Thank you, says Sasquatch. I'm not sure, Cheese Bear. We will see. Well, you should be. If you hadn't already got an email from YouTube, it'll be in the next couple of days. And you'll be free to name your channel anything you like. And you'll get a couple more perks, too. Then we got the French actor Juicy Smollett, who is also claiming innocence. Never mind the fact that he paid the two guys a $3,500 check to beat him up and put a thin rope around his neck, pour bleach on him, and say, "This is MAGA country," in Chicago in freezing temperatures. The coldest night of the year, actually. In Chicago. There's a couple of Trump supporters running around by themselves in Chicago, and not only recognized Juicy Smollett, but knew what show he was from, and then beat him up on a public street in Chicago on the coldest night of the year at 4 o'clock in the morning, wearing MAGA hats. Believe it or not. I'm doing great, April. Came home yesterday. Sorry I was late, but my dinner date ran late. Again, you're not late. You're right on time. Another of life's mysteries to be solved, Caucasian Sasquatch. Yeah, polar vortex in Chicago. That's right. Very cold weather at 4:30 in the morning. Yeah. Never mind the fact that 2 weeks prior to that, he himself mailed from his house a ransom letter to Fox News threatening his own life, and they didn't take it seriously because obviously they saw through it. And that's what prompted him to raise the scale and do something hate crimey. I would have done that to Juicy for free. Yeah. Speaking of which, what should I name my channel? Sasquatch Shills? Name it whatever you like. I don't see what's wrong with Caucasian Sasquatch. But you should definitely name it because that gives you a brand, and that brand can then be used to propagate your channel. So we've got a few things going on in the country at the moment that are odd, to say the least. April says, I like it. So does Caucasian. I like it. I'm going to run back through that one more time so Cheese Bear can see it. Here you go, Cheese. Pay attention to this.
When you're a kid, there's only one day a year more special than any other day, and that day is Christmas. And we are the magic behind that day. So let's get these fucking kids some fucking presents!
May I present the hardest working man in snowbiz? Good golly, he's jolly. Our own Santa Claus!
Hey, Merry Christmas. Whoa.
I just thought I'd pause for a minute so that you could see the titular nature of this video. Titties. Titular.
You're on my naughty list.
More American kids believe in you than they do in vaccines or the Holocaust.
That's great. I mean, disheartening for America, but great for us.
I'm here from the North Pole Times. Have you decided who will succeed you as Santa Claus?
Subtext, Santa's old and knocking on death's door. Fuck you. Good question. I'll give it some serious thought. Ha ho ho ho. Bye.
There have been many Santa Clauses throughout history. Some were loved, others loathed. But the position of Santa has mostly been a white man's game.
Exactly, it's fucking crazy. Things have got to change.
My advice to you is...
Do they, though? Do they have to change?
Oh, if I die, get rid of my porn!
I want to be the next Santa.
If this is your dream, you have to at least make your case, bitch.
You gotta get intimate with that jolly bitch.
I know you're right, but do you really have to call me bitch every time you say something?
Yes, bitch, because it's empowering to call you bitch.
Let's go over what we know. Santa and the board are all male and all white. They play golf, drink, smoke cigars, say things like, "Don't ever marry your mistress."
Just so you know, the women of the North Pole make fun of one of your dicks. Have fun wondering whose it is. What I need to learn is how to bro out with these guys. You know, shoot the shit, do shots, shoot shots of shit.
Yeah, you understand what's being put out here? Do you understand that they are pushing a message?
She has ideas, but can she really be the face of Christmas?
That is the second boob shot in one preview. A cartoon, a stop-motion cartoon, 2 titty shots.
I'll be named successor, die trying.
Yeah, something tells me that's not the message, Cheese Bear. Anyway, I thought you'd see the value in what I'm saying here about this woke garbage that's being put out on HBO Max, and everyone hates it. Thank God for the disappearance of the dislike button, because if you have the Chrome extension that allows you to see the dislike buttons, which is only going to last for about 2 more weeks before they remove it, you'll see that everyone hates it. Rotten Tomatoes, the company that's on the left, has given it a 1%. Wonderful to see you, Kevin Cox. Roll Tide roll. I think he thinks them's fighting words. In all good fun. But no grudges. This is neutral territory. This is Switzerland. So anyway, what do you think about it? Anybody have any comments or ideas about the coming future and the current climate of the cinematic landscape? Tell me what your thoughts are and tell me how you feel about it. Tell me what you could do about it. One thing you could do about it is not pay. You vote with your wallet. Just don't go see those things. Might I suggest a strong alternative? Wholesome, family-oriented, good positive message. Pleasant to watch. No cuss words or titty shots. Cheese Bear, why would you say those hateful words, says Caucasian. You're happy with Wheel of Time? I haven't seen it yet, but I heard that it's woke too. And I heard that the new Lord of the Rings project is going to be even more woke than Wheel of Time. I used to love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I bet if you rewatch it, you will find out that you still do. It holds up. And it's actually better stop-motion animation than this garbage is. So it holds up visually, it holds up mentally, it holds up spiritually. Why not watch this instead of that Seth Rogen, Sarah Silverman garbage? Yeah, we've got the Supreme Court deciding on a case that will, in effect, overturn Roe v. Wade, which will put it in the hands of the state. And that means that the state will have the final say on what happens, not the country, not federal, which I'm in total agreement with. The less the government can do, the better. The series was wokealicious, so it's accurately portrayed. Talking about Wheel of Time. Well, accurate or not, that is the wrong message for this country and the people in it. And what that is doing is actually tearing us apart as a nation. We are now not the superpower in the world because of woke ideology, because of this new brand of leftism. It has literally destroyed this country and its standing in the world. There was a brief reprieve while Trump was in office, and then it quickly vanished. There was a small window where we could have actually done something about it, and we chose not to as a nation. So it's all of our own fault. I get it, Jake. You only read sports updates from Kevin. Patriarchy strikes again. Well, he's my sports announcer. Of course I only read his sports updates. Doing so would not only insult him, but would go against my agreement with him to make those sports updates. So, loyalty, where it lies. Patriarchy, I'm for it. By the way, I heard a girl once say, when I get married, he's going to take my last name, not the other way around, because down with the patriarchy. And I said, you mean your father's last name? And she said, huh? I was like, that's not your last name. That's your father's last name and his father's last name. And fathers all the way back to the beginning of time. None of them belong to your mother. So, your argument is moot. She didn't like me very much. That was a long burn there, Cheese Bear. I appreciate the callback. That being said, though, I'm usually not very picky about what I read. If it pops up, I usually read it, unless I missed it, or unless it's offensive in some manner. So that was it. That was the stream for today. How you guys like it? Was that good enough? Oh, I know, honey. I'm with you. I got the joke. She says, I was joking. I couldn't be any further away from feminism and away from I couldn't be any further away from feminism if I lived on Saturn. Huh. Well, I, for one, am proud of you for that, and I thank you, because feminism has not only destroyed women, but it's destroyed men, too. And it also destroyed men's relationships with women. And it's probably the sole reason that I'm alone, because I don't play that game. And if I happen to meet a good old country girl who is proud of herself and proud of her family and wants to make a go of a family, I'm going to snatch her up and marry her just as quick as I can, because they don't make those anymore. Women are from Venus, Cheese Bear, not Saturn. Or women are from Venus, Cheese Bears from Saturn. Saturn is the devil's planet. Ew. Is that why I've been screwing it up? Here I am thinking women are from Earth. Oh, you got some pit bulls. That's the only kind of dog there is. I like pit bulls. Such hurtful words. Oh, Basque, not pit bulls. I grew up raising pit bulls. Back when fighting dogs was a thing, my father fought pit bulls. So we had a lot of them over my life. My favorite dog is a Caucasian Shepherd. Well, I know of a Caucasian Sasquatch. I don't know about a Caucasian Shepherd. Roll, Tide, roll. All right. Well, I don't know what to think about everything that's happening, has been happening for the last 5 years. We've got probably the dumbest man in existence running the country right now, incapable of even staying awake or keeping his continence. It's hard to be American at the moment. But I really think there's room for hope. I really think that the change of the tide is on the horizon. I think that it's not going to go on much longer because people are getting sick of it, and there is evidence of that. For example, like I said about this Santa Inc. video that we just watched, if you get the Chrome extension and then go to YouTube and look at the likes and dislikes, it's ratioed to hell and back. It's got a crazy number of dislikes and no likes, or very few likes. No, Kevin's feelings aren't hurt. He's just teasing with you, just like you are with him. It's a friendly sports rivalry. But they are eating dinner out right now, so that's probably why they're being quiet. So just keep up the faith and keep up supporting the things you love. If you don't support the things you love, they go away. And with that in mind, won't you please take a moment, Hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be here. I know it's annoying, but take the moment and press that like button. It don't take very much effort at all, and it really helps the channel with the analytics. So I'd appreciate you hitting that like button. Share this video with somebody you love. Better yet, share it with somebody you don't love. Bring them into our family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. And leave a comment down below and let me know what's on that crazy brain of yours. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid, drink your own Kool-Aid. As long as you're thinking critically, that's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And if you love what I'm doing, and you must support the things you love or they go away, won't you take a moment and go to paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing for me. It's a blessing for you too, because you get to see must-see content right away, the kind of stuff that really helps, not the kind of stuff that hurts. And with that, I will round out this video by finishing out the questions and comments. The Democrats are trying to destroy the family, the nuclear family. Foundation of our country. Absolutely they are, and that's exactly what's happening. Wait, I'm white. I can't be a victim of hate crime. You are learning, Sasquatch. It's in your name. Asian. Those are the offshoot of the Asians who went over the Caucasus Mountains and had large penises. That's why they were called the Caucasians. Everybody else had a wee-wee. They had cocks. See, I dare you to defy my logic. It works, baby. And that, kids, is where Texas comes from. Going back to April's comment, one of the last ones she made before she stopped talking. Am I going to play and sing tonight? Well, no, because my voice has been damaged and I'm not able to sing at the moment. But there is good news. I am getting stronger. My voice is coming back slowly. I have been able to do a little humming this week, and I've been humming a lot trying to get my voice working again. And it is coming together. So maybe in a couple months I'll be over this thing and I'll be able to get my strength back and do some more singing. Hopefully. You just have to wait and see. It's a numbers game at the moment. It's a sit and wait and hope it gets better kind of thing. There's no medication I can take for it. It's just damaged vocal cords. But I am healing. I am on the mend, and it is possible that I'll regain some of my control and some of my ability. And if that happens, I will gladly sing for you again. But until then, you just have to deal with me talking. And I'm lucky I can do that. There was a little while I couldn't do that. But I think I'm through the worst of it. I think I'm healing, so we'll see. You think you don't like it. I haven't been able to go out and shake my moneymaker because my moneymaker don't work anymore. Glad to hear that, Jake. Thank you, sweetheart. Me too. You have no idea how much I miss it when it's gone. That's literally what I make a living with, my voice. So I've had to resort to many measures to keep making a living best I can while I'm out of commission. Can't go book on my ability to do a show because I can't guarantee that I can. I can't foresee a moment when I have a date open that I'll be able to sing, so I can't book ahead of time. That greatly reduces my ability to have work, which means I can only take jobs when they appear and I happen to be in the vicinity to take the job. And most of the time I have to look for jobs that don't involve me singing. So that cuts it even lower. I've had very few shows this year. Contrast a few years ago when I was working all the time. So I kind of need this YouTube thing to be successful because it's the only course of action I have left other than becoming a drummer for somebody else. But that means giving up my name and my credibility and my clout, which ain't much, but I have built up a reputation over the years. And I don't really want to let all that go. But if that's the only choice I have, then so be it. It ain't going to keep me down. You can't keep a good man down. I'll keep moving forward one way or another. But thank you for the vote of confidence. I do need it, and I do appreciate it. And I am sorry that I hadn't been able to do any singing for you guys because I know y'all like it when I do that. I just ain't been able to. All right, boys and girls. It's almost 10 o'clock. We're rounding out the hour. I think I'm going to go catch up on some news and catch up on some snooze. Get some rest so I can go back out and work all week. I've entered the paying for the car phase, which means my paycheck's mostly going to be going to him for the next few weeks. So I got to work extra hard and extra long hours so that I can keep up what I got going on and pay for that car. Which ain't much. It ain't $1,800. So that ain't bad. It's actually a very good price for the car I got. Very good. It's like criminal. It blue books at $3,000, so, and that's in ragged out, rundown shape. And this one's in mint condition and wasn't driven that much. So it's in good shape and it's worth it. And the fact that he let me get it and start driving it before I paid for it is even better. So I got to make sure he gets paid. But it sucks to work for free, even if you're getting something out of it. But at least the work ain't hard. That's the good thing about it. I picked a good job. Thank you, Jake. You're welcome, sweetie, and thank you. Thanks for your support. I'll leave the light on for you. Cheese Bear says she'll email you, Caucasian, when she gets settled. One thing I'm going to work on this weekend is catching up on my interesting thing videos, which I let slip last week because I was so busy. But I'll pick up on it this week and get a few out. And maybe some other things too. I got a couple ideas mulling around. You'll love it, I'm sure of it. But that's pretty much it for me tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for participating and being such a good company. Thank you for all your interesting ideas and thoughts, and I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. It's a last-minute thing that I put together, but kind of wanted you to see that. Have a great night, and thank you for watching.